issues that New Yorkers have dealt with over time about affordable housing, which is complained about throughout the city, the lack of sufficient affordable housing, is that somehow the developers always win out. And one of the reasons people give for that is the campaign contributions that go to elected officials, whether it be state senators, assemblymen, councilmen, you name it, U.S. senators, etc. What's your own situation with respect to accepting contributions from landlords?
Well, I've accepted contributions from different organizations and different people that were willing to support my campaign. For example, I've accepted money from some developers this time around, but it was never with the understanding that they were going to contribute to me and there was going to be a quid pro quo. It was more of the understanding of here's an individual who's going to be fair-minded, who's going to listen to our concerns, and is going to really move the people's agenda forward. Now, there's been...
For example, though, would you support legislation to reinstitute effective, if not rent control directly, to make it more difficult for landlords to take housing off some kind of stabilized rent situation and onto, quote, free market rents?
Well, I'll give you an example. When I was running for this seat for the Senate, I met with various landlords, and one of their issues was vacancy decontrol. They are completely against repealing it. I have been a strong supporter of repealing vacancy decontrol, repealing vacancy decontrol in the Assembly. I've told them that what's going to end up happening is that when the vote comes to the floor in the New York State Senate, I will make sure that I protect the working men and women of the state of New York. And even with that...
What does that mean in terms of your vote? I'm sorry, just clarify that.
That would mean voting against them. And even with that, they looked at me and said, well, we have other issues that we would like to talk to you about. And even with that, they understood that here's someone who's fair-minded. He may not be with us on this particular issue, but that doesn't mean that he may not be with us on other issues down the road. So that was, I think, key for them.
I'm sure you're aware that a lot of citizens, not just in New York, but nationwide really, are kind of rebelling against politicians who are in office. It's kind of one of those few times that incumbency is actually a liability. Typically, it's an asset. And the re-election rate, as you well know, of people in city council or the legislature or the Congress is pretty high. The Congress, at least 90%.
Over 90%, yeah.
In that cynicism, it's a combination of things. People feeling the politicians are not listening to them. People feeling the politicians are in the pockets of the special interests. That the politicians are looking out only for their buddies, their cronies, their families, and so on. What makes State Senator Jose Peralta different from that, if in fact you are?
Well, it's simple. I'm someone who not only listens to the people, but works with the people. I'm someone who listens to the organization Make the Road that's down the block, and they have issues that affect the community in general, to someone who, like the Baptist after-school program, if they have issues, I listen to them. And I make sure that that becomes a priority. I listen to several different groups across the board. I'm someone who makes sure that I'm as transparent as I can be when it comes to my dealings.
How?
Well, by making sure that I follow all the ethics rules, by making sure that when I sit down with various lobbyists or various individuals that are looking to push an issue, that they understand that it's about making sure that I'm going to weigh the pros and the cons. And then I will make an intelligent decision after I research the information. I don't sell my votes. My votes are given to the people that I represent. I'm here to protect the people that I represent. And that's one of the things that I've done in the Assembly. That's one of the things that I have a track record on. That's one of the things that I now will bring to the New York State Senate. And the people decided to vote for me was because they saw my track record on the New York State Assembly. They saw that I've depending on how it was going to affect my particular area, that's how I voted. If it was going to be a positive, I voted for it. If it was going to be a negative, I voted against it. So unless it was something that was just going to affect the statewide, and it wasn't really going to affect my, my immediate assembly seat, then that was a different situation. But people saw my track record, and it's available, it's public, and people were happy with the results.